there's a scene in the trailer for And Just Like That season 2 that is making me completely go insane. What does the show know what it's a reboot of? Does the show even know what it did last season? Am I the only one keeping track like a court reporter over here? So in the trailer, Carrie says, "Who knew stoves were for more than storage?" You did, you freak. What do you have dementia now because you're 58 on the show or whatever? You knew that stoves were for more than storage. I'll tell you how. Because first of all, when Aiden moved in and knocked down the wall and then you bought the other apartment next door, you had more room and you took your shoes out of the storage space, which was your stove. And then in the first movie, you didn't have your shoes in the stove. You had a whole big apartment. And then you were living with Mr. Big. You guys lived together. And in the scene where you talk about maybe we should get married, you guys are cooking together. And so there you saw a stove and you knew they're not just for storage. And then, but maybe you thought, oh, Jen, you're being hard on Carrie. She just means in her own apartment. But I've already covered that I don't think she was keeping shoes in her stove anymore after Aiden rebuilt her place. But okay, let's just say she was. Well, I'll tell you what happened in And Just Like That season 1, because I didn't forget. I had to watch season 1. I had to be traumatized like everyone else. It's imprinted on my brain. I'd have to go somewhere like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind to get this out of my brain. The dumbest plot line of And Just Like That season 1 was Carrie and her cooking, okay? Do you remember she's cooking with Mr. Big in the apartment that they live in? They're married. They're making their salmon. They started cooking every night during the pandemic, listening to vinyl, blah, blah. Okay, Mr. Big dies. Now he's gone. And now she gets her own apartment. Before she goes back to her little studio apartment, she gets this big apartment with all these windows and it's very sunny. And the first thing she does when she's home alone is she cooks some fish at the stove. There's no shoes in it. And she goes to her storage space to get all her things that had been in the apartment with Mr. Big. And she grabs 3 things that are supposed to define who she is. I forget what one of them is. Maybe like a weird hat. Fine. Okay, that's very Carrie. The other is a lamp. And the third is a frying pan. That's me. You guys know me. Carrie Bradshaw, just love my frying pan. Now, is she allowed to grow and change? Of course she is. So, okay, now Carrie Bradshaw is someone who likes to make this one meal at home that she knows how to make. Great. Okay, listen, get the frying pan, girl. So she makes her fish on the stove. She doesn't like that apartment. She goes back and lives in her place that she always lived in, which again has plenty of room for shoes. And so when she says, "Who knew stoves were for more than storage?" You did. You literally fucking last season spent your time cooking over a stove and you think a frying pan is who you are. So is that not true? Or are you stupid? Or you just keep saying the same jokes over and over? Why is no one calling her on this?